and uncountable nouns, okay? What is a countable noun? What do you understand for a countable noun? It's the same like in Spanish, right? What is a countable noun?
Things like apples, you can see and know how many of these things you have.
Okay, yes. Anybody else? What is a countable noun? Like in Spanish, what is
Is
a countable noun? Is
the things if the things you can see and you can ¿cómo se dice sumar?
some.
Yes, that's
Okay, thank you. Yes. So, yes, countable nouns are nouns that we can count. That's why they are countable, right? We can count. So we can say 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees, 4 trees. This is something countable because we can count, right? And uncountable nouns are nouns we cannot count. For example, rain. We cannot say 1 rain, 2 rains, 3 rains. It's just rain, right? This is something uncountable, okay? What other uncountable nouns comes to your mind? What other uncountable nouns do you know? Do you remember any uncountable noun? No?
Some.
What?
Some.
Some?
Some.
Again,
Algunos son. Son.
no, this is not an uncountable noun. Some is not an uncountable noun. Remember that a noun es un sustantivo. Some no es un sustantivo, ¿cierto? What is something uncountable? Something that you can't count.
Coffee,
Grass.
milk,
Milk,
Grass.
coffee, what?
Grass.
Graph?
Grass. Pasto.
Grass.
Grass.
Grass, con S. Yes, maybe. Any other idea?
Pasta,
Pasta, yes. Water, water. These are some things that we cannot count, right? Okay.
the feeling.
Feelings, yes, feelings. We cannot count love, happiness. So these are uncountable nouns too. Very good. So what is the difference between them? One of the differences is that we can count the countable nouns and we cannot count the uncountable, right? The other difference we have is that for countable nouns, we have singular nouns and plural. Okay, so we have singular form and plural form. For example, here we have the singular form and plural form. But for uncountable nouns, we only have one form. Okay, and we don't have plural form. Okay, only singular form. This is another difference between countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, so until here we have two differences between countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, this next difference is this one. Okay, we can use a, an, or a number before countable nouns. For example, we can say a pencil, 10 pencils, 3 pencils, 2 pencils. Okay, we can use a, an, or a number. Okay, but for uncountable nouns, we cannot use a, an, or a number. We only say rice or rain or water. We don't say a water or two waters. Okay? We can count maybe the bottle of water, but we cannot count water. Okay? This is the next difference. So until here, we have three differences between countable and uncountable nouns. The next one is that we use singular and plural verbs for the countable nouns. For example, the book is old. The books are old. So we can use plural and singular verbs. Okay? And for uncountable nouns, we cannot use plural verbs. We only use singular verbs. Okay? For example, sugar is sweet. We cannot say sugar are sweet or sugars are sweet, right? Because it's uncountable. Also, we have here, the weather here is great or the weather is hot. Okay, weather, we cannot say one weather, two weathers, is uncountable, right? So that's why we use a verb in singular form. Okay, so until here we have four differences between countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, any questions until here? Any questions? No? Okay, let's go with the next part. Okay, as you said before, feelings are uncountable, right? Love, happiness, all these feelings. So here we have abstract ideas. This is something that is uncountable, okay? These abstract ideas are some things that have not physical existence, okay? Refer to ideas, emotions, and concepts that you cannot see or touch. Okay, these are abstract ideas. For example, love, freedom, education, luck, health, beauty, music, and thunder. I want to know if you understand all the words here. Do you understand all of them?
Thunder, teacher.
Thunder is like trueno.
Freedom. Freedom.
What? Freedom,
Freedom.
libertad. For example, when you leave the jail, you feel freedom, you are free, right? Freedom, libertad. Okay, so these are abstract ideas and are uncountable, okay? Let's go with the next one. Then here we have liquids and gases, okay? So these are abstract ideas too, okay? You can count the container, as I said before. For example, you can say a bottle of water, but we cannot say a water, right? We can count the container, but not the liquid or gas. For example, we can say 2 bottles of milk, okay? And these are some liquids and gases that we have here. Water, milk, wine, oil, coffee, rain, soup, air, smoke, blood, juice, and fog, okay? Do you understand all the uncountable nouns here?
Fog.
Fog is, for example, when the weather is foggy. Do you remember when we learned about the weather? When the weather is foggy?
Yes.
Yes, this is fog. Okay, any other word? Okay, so here we have, what?
Blood.
What?
Blood.
Blood. Blood, sangre. Blood, sangre. Okay. Also, when we talk about coffee is liquid, right? It's a liquid. So we cannot say two, well, people say 2 coffees, right? But we are talking about 2 cups of coffee, right? When people say 2 coffees, 3 coffees, we are talking about cups of coffee, okay? So this is another one. And also sugar. We cannot count sugar, right? Because it's made of smaller parts. Something that is made of smaller parts is something uncountable too. For example, like sugar, rice, and all these examples here. Okay, it says something that is made of smaller parts, though is considered as a whole. Okay, es considerado como un todo, como sugar, por ejemplo. El azúcar está hecho de pequeñas partes, pero es un todo, sugar, azúcar, ¿cierto? And here we have all these words too. And we can say 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 cucharillas de azúcar, ¿cierto? Cuando queremos decir la cantidad. Then we have here materials, okay? Nouns that say what something is made of are normally uncountable nouns. For example, gold. Gold is expensive. We cannot say a gold or 2 golds. Okay, so gold, oro. Wood, glass, paper, ice, all these materials. Okay, wool, steel, all these are materials, so that's why they are uncountable too. Okay? Then we have here some food. We have some food that also is uncountable. Okay? It says, usually it is food that needs to be cut up or eaten in smaller pieces. For example, bread. We cannot eat a complete bread at once, right? We have to cut the bread, or we have to eat bread in smaller pieces, right? This is the food that is uncountable. For example, bread, fish, cheese, chocolate, meat, bacon, food, ham, okay? And we can say, how can we count this? We can say slices of bread. For example, these are 4 slices of bread, okay? Or loaves of bread. This is a loaf of bread, okay? Una hogaza de pan, okay? But we cannot say breads like in Spanish. In Spanish, we have panes, ¿cierto? Un pan, 2 panes. But in English, it's uncountable, okay? And let's see. It says, be careful. Be careful with the following uncountable nouns, as they may be considered countable in other languages. Okay, money, for example, is uncountable. Okay, news is uncountable. Work, uncountable. Advice, uncountable. Furniture, information, luggage, and money. Okay, all these words are uncountable. And in Spanish, they are countable, most of them, right? Furnitures, yes, we can say furnitures in Spanish. Muebles, ¿cierto? En inglés solo es furniture, no tiene forma plural. Advice, lo mismo. Consejo, es incontable en inglés. We can say some advice o a piece of advice, pero no podemos decir advices o 2 pieces of advice. Cuando queremos decir 2 consejos, en inglés, 2 pieces of advice, O podríamos decir también some advice. Some advice. ¿Ok? Pero no podríamos decir advices. ¿Ok? Then work, trabajo. Do we have this as a countable noun in Spanish? Trabajo. Dos trabajos, sí, ¿no? O dos empleos sería. What do you think? In Spanish, trabajo is countable or uncountable? Dos trabajos, creo que sí es contable, ¿no?
Sí,
Podemos
es
decir.
contable.
Sí, es.
Yo tengo.
For example, news. News termina en S, ok, pero es incontable. It's uncountable. Noticias, las noticias. Ok, information, no podemos decir informations. Ok, también aquí podemos utilizar some information si queremos decir más de una. Some information or pieces of information. Ok, and money, luggage también. Equipaje, equipaje en español es equipaje. It's countable or uncountable in Spanish. Dos equipajes decimos.
No,
No, el equipaje
no.
solamente, ¿cierto?
Solo
Podemos
el
decir
equipaje.
maletas, pero no equipaje, equipajes, ¿cierto? Ok,
Dos piezas de equipaje. Sí.
ok. Let's see here. We have money. For example, money, we can count the coins, las monedas, coins, and dollars or bills, right? But we cannot count money. Okay, for example, I have 5 coins, I have $90, and I have money. Okay, no podemos decir I have 5 monies, solamente podemos decir I have money. Yo tengo dinero. Okay, so these are some of the countable and uncountable nouns. Any questions about this? No? Okay, now that you know about the countable and uncountable nouns, we are going to check, this is the summary, el resumen de los countable and uncountable nouns. We are going to check some and any. Okay, some and any. De acuerdo a las oraciones que acabamos de hacer, ustedes me van a ayudar a responder algunas preguntas. Okay, it says singular countable nouns. ¿Qué utilizamos para los singular countable nouns? ¿Qué pueden ver en sus oraciones? What can you see in your sentences? The ones that we did in the last exercise. What do we use before a singular countable noun? Yes, we use a or an, right? Yes, we use a or an. Okay, we use a when the word starts with a consonant sound, and we use an when the word starts with a vowel sound, right? For example, a book, a dog, a house. Here, university sounds like university. That's why we use a university. Okay? The same here. An apple, an egg, an orange, an hour. Okay? Because the H, it doesn't sound, right? No tenemos sonido en la H, entonces el siguiente sonido es una vocal. That's why we use an hour. Okay? So this is for singular countable nouns. Okay? Then we have here some, yes?
En la parte anterior, a house, we use the letter H, but
It sounds like a jota in Spanish. House, right? But in this one, the H doesn't sound, right? La H en esta palabra no suena, pero en esta sí suena.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So, as you can see, we have affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and questions. Okay. And here we have singular countable nouns, plural countable nouns, and uncountable nouns. And as you can see, for affirmative, singular, and countable nouns, we use a or an, as you said before, in affirmative sentences, in negative sentences, and in questions. Okay? In plural countable nouns, in affirmative sentences, we use some affirmative sentences for plural countable nouns. In negative sentences for plural countable nouns, we use any. In questions for plural countable nouns, we use any too. Okay? And it's the same with uncountable nouns. As you can see, affirmative, some, negative, any, and questions, any too. Okay? So let's see some examples here. We are going to check some sentences. Here we have singular, countable, affirmative sentences. What do we use for singular, countable, affirmative sentences? What do we use? Our am, right? Yes. For example, here we have, I have a flower. Okay, can you give me an example for a singular countable noun using our and? Can you give me any example?
I have a dog.
I have a dog, right? Dog is singular and is countable. Any other examples?
I have a book.
I have a book. Yes, I have a book. And what about with an? What can we say here with an?
I have an egg.
I have an egg. Yes. Yes, could be. I have an egg because we can count eggs, right? Then we have plural, countable, affirmative. What do we use? Plural, countable, affirmative sentences. What do we use? Plural, countable, affirmative sentences.
Some or any.
Some or any?
No, sorry, some.
Some, right? Affirmative sentences, right? For example, here we have, I have 2 flowers. Okay, we can use the number. Remember that we said before that we can use a number. I'm going to turn off the microphone. And also we can use some, okay? The number, we use a number when it's something specific, okay? For example, I have 2 cell phones, okay? Or when we don't want to say something specific, we say I have some cell phones. We don't know exactly the number, right? So we can use with affirmative sentences, we can use a number, any numbers, and also we can say some before the plural countable noun, okay? Then we have plural countable negative. Plural countable negative. What do we use?
Any.
Any. And what is my sentence here? What is my sentence in the negative form?
I don't have any flower.
I don't have any
Flowers.
flowers, right? I don't have any flowers. Remember that any, it is used when we are talking in negative, right? And plural, countable nouns. Okay, here we have some other examples. Plural, countable, affirmative, we say that we use some. I need some new shoes. I need some new shoes, right? For negative, we say that we use any, right? What is my negative sentence for this one? My negative sentence, what can I say?
I don't need any shoes.
I
New
don't
shoes.
need any new shoes, right? For negative sentences, any. Plural countable nouns, okay? Then we have plural countable nouns, affirmative again. We have, she wants some grapes, okay? And she doesn't want any grapes, okay? So as you can see, affirmative and negative sentences, okay? Here we have uncountable affirmative sentences. We use some for uncountable affirmative sentences, right? For example, we need some milk. Milk is uncountable, right? So we can use some for milk. Then we have uncountable negative sentences. We use any. Sorry. What happened? Give me a second, please. I don't know what happened. Okay. So here we have. We were saying we need some milk in the affirmative sentences in the affirmative sentence for uncountable nouns. And for negative sentences, we use any, right? We don't need any milk. Okay. And for affirmative sentences, singular countable nouns, I need a bottle of milk. Okay, as you can see, we use bottle. So that's why we use a in this sentence. Okay. Any questions until here? Any questions? Okay, let's go with the next one. Here we have some other examples. Uncountable affirmative. I'd like some sugar, please. Okay, I'd like some sugar, please. I don't want any sugar, thanks. He needs some help. Okay, and the negative, he doesn't need any help. He doesn't need any help. Okay, it's the same. And then we have the question form. Okay, for question form, here we have for singular countable. Here we have, for example, did you have an accident? Okay, an accident. Accident is countable. We can say one accident, two accidents. Okay, for plural countable nouns, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, and the last one for uncountable. Okay, questions for uncountable nouns. Does he need any help? Okay, as you can see, here we have the three forms. Countable in singular form, countable in plural form, and uncountable. And here we have the three examples. Okay? Any questions until here? We have some exceptions in questions. Okay? We said that we use any for uncountable nouns, and we said that we use any for plural, okay, for plural countable nouns. But we have some exceptions when we are asking some questions. For example, it says exceptions. We said that we use an, any, or any, right? But we have these exceptions. When we want to offer something, okay, for example, you have a guest at home and you want to offer something to drink or you want to offer something to eat. When you want to offer something, we use some. Would you like some? Okay, for example, here we have, would you like some cake? Estamos ofreciendo algo. We are offering something, right? The second exception is when we are asked for something. Cuando pedimos algo, for a request. Okay, cuando estamos pidiendo algo. For example, can I have some cake, please? Can I have some cake, please? ¿Me puedes dar un poco de torta? Okay. And also for suggestions. Why don't we buy some cake? Okay, so here we have 3 exceptions of questions where we can use some. Okay, but for the rest, we use our and, any, or any. Okay, any questions until here?
No entendí bien la última parte, teacher, perdón.
Which one?
We buy some cakes. No entiendo.
Why don't we buy some cake? ¿Por qué no compramos alguna torta o algo de torta? Es que este some no tiene una traducción, es algo de torta, sería. ¿Por qué no compramos alguna torta o una torta? Porque como estamos haciendo una sugerencia, utilizamos some, ya no utilizaríamos a. ¿Ok? ¿Por qué no compramos una torta? Esa sería la última pregunta. Any other question? No? Okay. So let's practice a little bit with your book. Now, here you have the rules. Let's see the rules. It says, uncountable nouns, like, voy a apagar los micrófonos. Uncountable nouns like rice, beef, only have
A singular form.
Singular
a
form.
singular form. So you have to write here singular, right? A singular form. Countable nouns like tomato and onion can be singular or
Plural.
Plural.
plural. Yes. We use some and any with uncountable nouns and
Plural countable noun.
plural countable nouns, right? Plural countable nouns. Okay, very good. So these are the rules that we have here. Let's check the little chart that you have here in the grammar. We are going to talk about countable and uncountable, but for food, okay? For example, here we have eggs, apples, and strawberries, and all of them are countable, right? And here we have rice, pasta, and meat, okay? And so, countable and uncountable. And as you can see, we use exactly the same. So, for plural, countable, we use some. Okay, for questions, plural countable nouns, we use any. For negative sentences and plural countable nouns, we use any. Okay, then we have here for uncountable nouns, we use some. Okay, in affirmative sentences. For questions, for uncountable nouns, we use any, and for negative sentences and uncountable nouns, we use any too. Okay? So it's exactly the same, as you can see. Any questions until here? Let's do an exercise. Let's go to the page 124. Here we have a very easy exercise. It says write a, and, or some in these nouns. For example, meat. What can we say? Meat.
Some.
Some meat, because meat is uncountable. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
A chocolate or some chocolate or an chocolate. Chocolate is countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
It's uncountable. It's uncountable, right? So that's why we say some chocolate, right? Some chocolate. Melon, countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable.
Countable. So we say
Melon.
a melon, right? Apple, countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable. So we say
Apple.
an
An
apple.
apple.
An
An apple. Bread, countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. So we
Some.
say some bread. Orange,
An.
An orange.
an orange.
An orange.
Potatoes,
Some.
some potato. Remember that is plural. It's countable, but it's plural, right? That's why we cannot say a potato, right? We say some potato. It's countable, but it's plural. What about tomatoes?
Some tomatoes.
Some tomatoes.
Because it's plural too.
It's plural. Yes, very good. Let's go to the next exercise. Here we have, it says, complete the conversation with a, and, some, or any. Okay. Number 1, what's for lunch? Is there
Any.
any pasta? Pasta is countable or uncountable? Uncountable, right?
Uncountable.
Is there any pasta? No, there isn't
Any pasta.
any pasta. But there's
Some.
Some rice.
Rice.
some rice. Rice is countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Countable.
Uncountable in the cupboard. Good. And do we have
Any.
any?
Some.
Why
Any.
some?
Because it's any. Sorry.
And do we have any meat or fish?
Any.
Remember that is a question, right? Do we have
Any.
any meat? And it's an uncountable noun. Yes, we have
Some.
Some chicken and
And
some
chicken
fish.
and some fish.
some fish. There's
A green pepper.
a green pepper.
And some
And
onion.
some
Onion.
and
two.
some onion.
An
An
And-
onion. And an onion too. But there isn't any salad. Salad is countable or uncountable? What do you think?
uncountable.
Uncountable.
Uncountable. Any salad. No problem. We can buy
Some.
some
salad.
salad at the market.
At the market.
Very good. Any questions? Let's go to the next exercise.
Teacher,
Yes?
why salad is uncountable?
Salad is countable, right? 2 salads? Yes, it's countable salad.
Okay.
We can say 2 salads. Give me 2 salads, please. Yes. Okay. Here we have at, a, and, some, or any too. Okay, but here we have the sentences and you have to write the correct sentence or question. Okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes. Try to do it and then we're going to check. Guys, is this sentence correct? Is this question correct? Do you have any tomatoes? Do you agree with your partner?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. What about sentence number 3? Please, Maria Jose. Sentence number 3.
There any milk in the fridge?
Okay, there.
Any milk in the fridge?
Okay, good. What is your verb, Maria Jose? What is your verb? What is the verb of your sentence?
Milk?
Milk is not a verb. It's an uncountable noun. An uncountable noun is not a verb. What is the verb of your sentence?
There.
There is not a verb. Your sentence doesn't have a verb, right?
Yes.
What is the verb that you need to write here? What is your verb? For milk, do you remember what is the verb that we use for milk, for uncountable nouns? We use a singular verb, right? Remember? We don't use plural verb. What is the verb here? The singular verb. What do you think, Maria Jose?
I don't know.
You don't remember. Let's look to the first example. The first example here, number 1. What is the verb here, Maria Jose?
It's not any. It's not any.
It's not any is the verb.
Only any.
Any is not a verb. What is the verb, Maria Jose? Anybody? What is the verb in this sentence? Sentence number 1.
Is.
Is the verb. Maria Jose, what is the verb that you have to write here in your sentence?
There are.
There are. Are is a plural or is a singular verb?
It's a singular.
No, it's not a singular verb. It's a plural verb. Is a singular verb. What happened, Maria Jose? This is the verb to be. The verb to be. Is, are, verb to be. Remember? We use a singular verb for uncountable noun. Okay? Now, I want you to tell me, is your sentence affirmative or negative?
Affirmative.
Affirmative. When do we use any, Maria Jose?
In negative.
In negative sentences, right? So what do we use here in this sentence?
There is some milk in the fridge.
Yes, there is some milk in the fridge because this is an affirmative sentence and this is an uncountable noun, milk. Okay? Let's see the next one, please. Let's see, Jessica. Number 4, please.
We are not have any yogurt.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what is your verb here, Jessica? What is the verb in your sentence?
Are.
Are. Okay. And what is have?
The verb?
So do we have two verbs in this sentence?
Yeah.
No, we can never use are and a verb in a simple present sentence. Choose one verb. We are going to delete one of the verbs. Choose one of the verbs. Elija uno de los verbos para que se quede y uno se tiene que ir. ¿Cuál elegiría?
Have. Because it's in-
Porque está aquí, ¿cierto?
sí.
Ok. ¿Cómo sería su oración entonces? En el presente simple.
We don't
Negativa.
have.
Very good. We don't have. We don't have any yogurt. Very good. We use any because our sentence is negative.
Negative.
Very good. Okay. The next one, please. Just line it. Number 5.
There are some mushrooms in the shopping bag. Teacher, what mean mushrooms or
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Hongos.
Okay.
Mushrooms. There are some mushrooms in the shopping bag, right? Here we use some because here we have a countable plural noun and we have the verb in the plural form too, right? Very good. The next sentence is for, let's see, let's go with a boy.
Teacher,
yes?
mushrooms. Sorry, I have something in mind. Mushrooms is an uncountable.
No, because we have an S here, right?
Yeah.
It's plural.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's countable. Daniel, please. Number 6.
Is there some weather?
Okay. Is there some weather?
Yes.
Weather?
Waiter.
Waiter?
The pronunciation is
Water.
water, sí. Excuse me.
Okay. Water. Okay. Okay, good. Is water a countable or an uncountable noun, Daniel?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. Okay. What do we use for questions and uncountable nouns, Daniel? What do we use for questions and uncountable nouns?
Any?
Any. We don't use some for questions. We use some just when we are offering something, when we are asking for something, or when we are giving a suggestion. Okay, but for the other questions, we use any. Okay? Any questions until here? Creo que todavía le falta un poquito de práctica más de esto. ¿Cierto?
Teacher, una consulta. En la última no tendría que ser are the.
Is there,
Are there.
sorry. Is there.
Are
Es que me
porque
equivoqué.
lo que es.
¿Cómo? Are there? ¿Así?
Are there, yes. Are there some water?
Okay. Water is uncountable or countable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. Water, ¿se puede utilizar verbo en plural para los incontables? ¿Se puede utilizar verbo plural para incontables?
Yes, porque lo que nos mostró hace rato decía que cuando era incontable se tomaba como plural.
No, como singular, lo está confundiendo. Para incontables, nunca, nunca, nunca podemos ocupar un verbo plural. ¿Ok? Siempre con verbo singular. ¿Ok? Como puede ver acá en milk, utilizamos un verbo singular porque es incontable. ¿Ok? Entonces, aquí tendría que ser is there, y aquí any porque es una pregunta. ¿Ok? Ahora se los muestro de nuevo para que ustedes puedan verlo. ¿Ok? Esperen un segundito. Voy a mostrarle de nuevo las diapositivas para que puedan ver que se utiliza un verbo singular y no plural para los incontables. ¿Recuerdan las 4 diferencias que dijimos entre los countable and uncountable nouns? Una de las diferencias era esa, que no podríamos ocupar verbo plural para los uncountable nouns. ¿Recuerda? Tiene solo una forma, no tiene forma plural. Y